Hi guys, Mr. Yasik here. Today, in this mini lesson, we're going to prove why these fractions that we found in our last lesson are equivalent, and we're going to be able to prove that by using multiplication, not relying on our number lines. Okay? So what we're going to do first is just get rid of these equal signs. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to tell you how I get the kiddos to figure out whether or not these fractions are equivalent or not. So what we do is we look at our numerators and we look at our denominators. And I ask them, well, look, what number is going to connect them? Like in a fact family number, what would connect them? And most of them, when we have 1 as a numerator, it's really, really easy. We all know that 1 times 2 is equals 2. And then 6 times 2 equals 12. And I ask the kids, well, wait a second. We're multiplying. How can 1/6 equal 2/12? Because if you multiply, that has to change the value of your number. That's what multiplication is. It's equal groups, repeated addition. So how is it that 1/6, if we multiply by 2, is the same as 2/12? Those are different numbers. And what the kids hopefully will get is there's one number. I ask them, what is the one number that you can multiply by that doesn't change its value? The multiplication property of identity. It's the identity property of multiplication. Anytime you multiply by 1, the value will not change. And then kids start to notice, well, wait a second, we're not multiplying just by 2. We're multiplying by 2 halves, which is that sneaky 1 whole in disguise. So 2 halves is really 1, and when you multiply by 1, it doesn't change the value. It just gives the fraction a new disguise. So 1/6 is equivalent to 2/12 because we multiplied by 1 whole. It's that old rule that we were taught, what you do to the top, you do to the bottom. But now it just makes a lot more sense to the kids because we realize what you do to the top, you do to the bottom, and when you do that, you're really multiplying by 1, so it won't change the value. Over here, 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12. Well, 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So that's still that 1 whole in disguise, and it works. They're equivalent. Same with 2/3 and 4/6. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. We're not really multiplying by 2, we're multiplying by 2 halves, which is really the 1 whole in disguise, so the value will not change. Anytime you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, you're really multiplying by 1 in disguise, and that will not change the value, so it is equivalent. I hope this helps.